Hey, welcome back. We're working on word problems. So we're going to use the models to solve these problems. So if we have a set of 2 circles for every 5 squares, and then we have a total of 20 squares, we need to figure out how many circles there are and what the ratio is. So the ratio, if we draw the first set, the 2 circles and the 5 squares, the ratio is 2 circles to 5 squares. Okay, and if we use models to figure out the problem, okay, I draw in the 20 squares and then I can, very easily see how many circles I would have in total. So for every 20 squares, I am going to have 8. And I can double check that with a little bit of easy math, so that would be times 4 and times 4. They should be the same. All right, same question, style question, and I want you to do it. Pause the video and then come back and check your answers. Okay, so this time we have 3 circles for every 4 squares. Okay, and we're going to have 20 squares in total. So I've drawn it out, and this is what it should look like. You should have 4 in a row, and you should have 5 in a column of squares, and then you can match that up. So I have 3 to 4 ratio, and then if I count this, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then I can double check that with a little bit of math here. This would be times 5, and this would be times 5. Okay, next question. Again, you're going to do this and then come back and check your answer, so make sure you pause. Okay, so I did it in a different direction so it fit better, but it's the same idea. I have 3 circles here for every 2 squares, okay, and then it said I needed to have 14 squares, so I have 7 in a row and I have 2 rows, so that's 14. And then I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and 21. So this would be 21 circles for every 14 squares. All right, now I'd like you to try both of these problems. So pause the video, do both of these problems, draw it out, show the ratios, and then come back and check your answers. All right, when we draw out this model, okay, we have the 3 circles. We have the 3 circles. Why isn't it circling? And the 5 squares. Okay, and then we have 15 squares in total. So I have the 3 circles, 3 to 5 ratio, right? And that's shown right here. And then if I look, and this is all one ratio, this would be 15 squares to every 9 circles. Okay, I have 3 circles. This is my 3 circles here to every 5 squares. And notice I drew it in the other way where we're showing them in groups. And if you have a set of 40 shapes in total, how many squares are there? So this is a little bit different of a problem here, but you do it in the same way. So the way that I did this is 5 and 3, so that's 8, and I know that 8 times 5 is 40. So I knew I needed to have 40 shapes all together. So this is 5, and this is 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. So the ratio here is I have 40 shapes in total, and I want to know how many squares I have, so I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, now we're going to use proportions to solve the word problems. So in a pet shop, there are 3 cats for every 4 dogs. So the first thing that I do is I notice that there's cats and dogs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the two things that we're comparing on the top here. So I write cats and dogs. And then I'm going to write the quantities under the names as a ratio. So I have 3 to 4. Okay, then I want to know if there are 12 dogs in the shop, how many cats are there? So I reread the question to determine which quantity is given and which is known and unknown, and then write the information in a new row under the right terms or the right names. Okay, so what I need here is 12, and I don't know how many cats, right? And then I'm going to solve the proportion. So I know that if I multiply this by 3, I'm going to get 12. So I have to multiply both sides by 3. So if I have a 3 to 4 ratio, this is going to equal, this is how you would write it, and this is going to equal 3 to 4 is equal to 9 to 12. All right, I would like you to give that a try. So pause and do both of these questions and then come back. Okay, so the first thing I notice is my titles are going to be the same, cats and dogs. Okay, then I'm going to check my quantities here and write it as a ratio. So I have 4 cats to every 5 dogs. Then I read the whole question again, so there are 4 cats for every 5 dogs. If there are 20 cats, so I make sure I put it in the right column here, how many dogs are there? So I know that 4 times 5 is 20, so I'm going to have to do that to both sides. So the ratio, that's a colon there, equals 20 to 25. Okay. And then same thing down here, just in a different order here. I have dogs, and I have 3 dogs to 4 cats. And I want to know how many cats I will have for if I have 12 dogs. So it's a 3 to 4 ratio. Okay, making sure that they're on the right side so that I'm comparing the right things. Oh, this should say cats. All right, and so I want to know how many cats I have, so I would obviously multiply this by 4, so this would be multiplied by 4. So the answer here would be a 12 to 16 ratio. Okay, so try this one. I want you to do, this is the model side, okay, and this is going to be where you're using the cats and the dogs, and I want you to think about which method you like better. So pause it and then come back. And I didn't draw this out for you. So there are, squares are going to be dogs. Did I draw this out for you? No, I didn't. Squares are going to be dogs, 5, circles are cats. So for every 5 dogs, there are 2 cats. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, okay, and then I draw in my circles, and this is a 5 to 2 ratio, and then when I do this, so I have 20, this is going to be 8. Now, the reason we would do the model drawing is it helps with the visualization that happens in your brain, because this happens even though you're not aware of it in the visual part of your math brain. And that's actually a real place. Okay, so I have 5 dogs for every 2 cats. And then if there are 20 dogs, how many cats are there? Okay, and I don't know this one, and the ratio is 5. And this is question mark, 20. Okay, this helps you keep it in the right order. And I would multiply this by 4, so this is going to be an 8 to 20 ratio. So 8 cats for every 8 cats for every 20 dogs. All right, so you have a little bit of work to do. There's some word problems there. If you have any questions, please make sure that you are asking.